Well, good Saturday morning, everyone, and greetings once again from Radio Wasteland Records here in Midland, Michigan. I hope your Saturday is off to a great start. I was looking for a specific Johnny Winter album to hold up here this morning. It's Second Winter. Couldn't find it right off. I got a little busy doing some other stuff, getting ready for the day. So I'll just have to tell you that that's what my intent was. Because if you've ever paid attention to late winter, early spring here in the mid Michigan, heck, all of Michigan area, you know darn well that we are now heading into, we just finished false spring the other day. So now we're heading into second winter, at least up north of there too. And then we're going to get another mud season coming up here very shortly. But yeah, it's an interesting one outside this morning. Cloudy. It was blowing snow this morning at home when I was waking up. And tell you what, it's just kind of chilly and windy, a little bit of snowflakes in the air and cloudy otherwise. But it's Michigan. It is, I want to say mid-March, but we're already past that point, meaning that, yeah, we're coming up fairly quickly on Record Store Day now even too. And I am nowhere near ready for that, I'll tell you what. But we're getting there. We're getting there. So not much to talk about this morning, so it'll be kind of a brief update while I get back into things and get it going. But we do have the ability to say hi really quick to some of you folks out there and taking time out of your Saturday morning, as I always do appreciate you to do so. Chuck saying good morning. Good morning, sir. Hopefully all is well. Jennifer, good morning to you. TC at TKR, greetings to you on the East Coast. Thanks for tuning in. Fred on the West Coast, but of Michigan there. Oh, cool. You're going to, oh, very cool. Yeah, the Fred's saying, talking about the Rush 50 order. We'll talk about that when you stop in. I got mine. We'll do my best to get more if needed. We'll see what happens there. So, hey, Karen, good morning. Hi to you as well. Speaking of Rush fans, right? Pat, good morning. And saying hi to all the record aficionados. That's a big word for early Saturday morning, Pat. Ken, on the other side of the planet, good day to you, sir. Thanks for being here. Robert. Another, we've got kind of an Australian following. I'm very humbled at that. You folks over there are great. Ryan saying hey as well, and Dan saying good morning as well. And Stanley, Ryan says Stanley. Hi Stanley, man. How you doing, man? All right, Gerard, good morning as well. Yep, thank you so much for being here. So yeah, a lot of you out there saying hi this morning. I can imagine you're not overly thrilled to be out and about. I mean, it's not terrible. It's just unpleasant. It's the end of March. I think we're over it pretty much. But yeah, I was looking up north and in eastern UP, they ended up getting about 8 inches of snow the other day, and now it's disappearing almost as quickly as it hit in. What are you going to do? Now that brings us to Record Store Day, because that's always kind of a hit or miss. I remember Record Store days long before we opened the store up. Katie and I, especially Jimmy was a little too young back then, but Katie and I would head down to Ann Arbor to hit up some of the big stores down there, Wazoo and Underground. And then we'd work our way up to East Lansing and check some of them there. But sometimes it would be colder than heck. And I remember one Record Store Day, we were stuck in a line in Ann Arbor and it felt like it was about 85 degrees out. It was just broiling. So yeah, anything goes. I'll do my best to look forward to the weather forecast coming up for April 12, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, stuff's starting to happen for Record Store Day. I'll let you guys in on that. The product, as it were, is beginning to show up at my distributors. They are talking, and the rumblings are talking about shipping some of the early stuff out so we get it in our hands and get it here in the store. So hopefully within the next week or so, we'll start seeing some of that show up. There's been some cancellations here and there. There's been some additions. I think Steve and I will talk about that on the podcast coming up tomorrow, just very briefly, because I know that there was one that he was looking at that ended up getting canceled and pushed back. So we'll touch on that on the podcast, two guys talking about records. I'll try to compile a list of some of the other changes, but everything marches forward for Record Store Day coming up very, very quickly, April 12. So make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, by the way, and you'll get all the updates as we get them, and I'll continue to talk about things as we go from there. So make sure you're tuned into us, pretty please. Let's see here. Okay, couple of other quick things, and then I'll get to what's left of the new releases that showed up. It's been kind of a busy week, but not a busy week. One of those where I got some stuff and the important key titles left kind of early, but I'll get to that here in just a second or two. A couple of housekeeping things, though. First up, I have been digging in the far back in some of our quieter time here. And I'm not talking the back room that's just off here. I'm talking the far back where we've got stuff that I've been sitting on for several years that I keep meaning to get to. It's one of those, I'll get to it. Well, I'm getting to it. So last Sunday, Kim made it in for a little while to help out here, and she did some reorganization and restocking way back in the dollar room. So that has been, I think we put out like another couple hundred albums into the dollar room. Some nice stuff, some dollar bin stuff, don't get me wrong. But there's some nice stuff that may be a little bit more battered and we don't really feel comfortable putting out on this floor. So I'm talking some good rock titles in there as well. So that is there for you to come and dig. Now, that happened last Sunday, but already this week, a couple of our other loyal friends have been coming in. They discovered that there was some goodies back there, so it has been getting rated a little bit, but there's still some goods back there. What you see here, this big box, it's about 150 records that I pulled out of the far back, as I mentioned. I did not really do a sort because this is kind of the mood I'm in at the moment. I'm pulling some boxes out because when Kim rearranged back there, she made some room on the floor. She moved things around and cleaned it up a little bit. So I am going to take advantage of that and throw some more boxes down on the floor that are the unsorted dollar bin stuff, meaning that there's going to be dollar bin stuff in there, but there could be some other things that I've not caught yet to bring out for the regular pricing. So today and tomorrow is probably a good day if you want to come dig in the dollar room. Your chance to get to this box and probably two more I'll get out today at some point before I have a chance to really sort through them. So there could be some other non-dollar bin stuff in there. You never know, but sometimes I miss stuff, but I will go through that eventually. But for the time being, it'll be $1 a piece on the floor until I get to it. And if you find it before I do, more power to you. Have at it. So that's going out as soon as I finish here. And then throughout the morning after I finish the upcoming releases segment, I'm going to go back and grab another box and get that out there too, just to start getting some more things out of the way in the far back. So make sure you check that out. The other thing I wanted to mention, if anybody is looking for cardboard mailers, these cardboard mailers, we got a pack of them, 100 pack that are the wrong kind. I'm not going to be using these for sending stuff out when I ship. So we're just going to say if anybody wants them, it's supposed to be a pack of 100, but I think there's like 95 or 96 in there. $20 yours if you stop by. I'm not going to ship these. So if you're local and you just want some cardboard mailers for whatever reason, swing on by and you can pick up a pack of them for $20 a yours. That's what we paid a little more, but I'm just going to let those suckers go to get them out of my way and out of underfoot. So swing in and grab those. Okay, on to the new releases. Again, not a lot. We had a few big things come in, but I didn't get enough copies of them and they disappeared fairly quickly. So we will, I'll do my best to restock on them. But what we do have, I got a couple copies left of the brand new Pop Evil, the Michigan metal band. I don't want to go too far into the downward description of the genre, but if you know them, you love them. This is their brand new one called What Remains. Looks like it's got 10 tracks on here. This is on grape and black translucent galaxy vinyl. So I'm assuming it is kind of a swirl or a splatter vinyl. Let me get my thumbnail. There you go. Got to do the YouTube thumbnails. That's how it works, right? So I got 2 copies of the new Pop Evil left. Stop by, check that one out if you are so inclined. From last week, this was a big one last week, and I didn't think I was going to get more copies of the indie exclusive, but I did. The brand new Jason Isbell. This is Foxes in the Snow. And I did get, I think I got 4 more copies of the gold vinyl, the indie exclusive gold, but I only have 2 of those left. That's how popular this one has been. So I've got 2 of these left on the shelf right now. I don't think there's any more gold ones out there. I'll check if we run out, but I think I can get the black vinyl version of that if we need to. Just some other restocks from other folks that have ordered, and I got extra copies. Jeff Buckley's Grace, hadn't had this one in the store in a while, so I do have 1 reissue copy of that left to go. Soul Coughing's Ruby Vroom, another copy of this left. This is, we've got 3 previously unreleased songs. I think I talked about this a couple weeks ago. Clear vinyl. And then I grabbed a copy of Gish, the Smashing Pumpkins, one of this, because there's There's a big Smashing Pumpkins reissue coming. I'm going to get to that here, but I think it's closer to Record Store Day of Siamese Dream. I'll talk about that in the upcoming show. I don't know if it'll be this week or the next, but it's going to be a moderately priced Smashing Pumpkins reissue, which is kind of unheard of. So just because I grabbed a copy of Gish because I feel like listening to my copy. And then I grabbed another copy of Tripping Daisies, Bill. Wish I could find Elastic Firecracker, but that is not out there. This is a music on vinyl. A couple copies of that for you Tripping Daisy fans. So that is just a quick check of that. Let's see here if we got any others. We're going good there. As we wrap up today, I want to mention I talked about the podcast with our good friend Steve Carlson, and that is Two Guys Talking About Records. Heard each Sunday evening, a brand new episode. It goes up on our YouTube channel here. Again, make sure you're subscribed, please. But it also is prevalent on all of the podcast platforms like Spotify, iHeart, Apple, Amazon. It's everywhere. It's out there. It's getting some decent response as well on the, especially on the Amazon side of things. I haven't looked at the numbers on Apple yet, or lately rather, but the the Spotify numbers are pretty good. And the YouTube numbers are pretty good too. If you've been watching the podcast over the past couple of weeks, you know that Steve and I are doing a knockoff of the March Madness stuff. And that is it's ongoing, where we've done our own little tournament where we each started with 8 of what we consider to be essential albums. And then each week, the viewers of the podcast have been voting on these essential albums to see which go forward. You kind of get that, right? Here is, let me switch this over and get to this, and I'll show you where the bracket is. We're heading into, this week is the Final Four. So after tomorrow, we're going to have this down to just 2 of these albums. That's what the bracket looks like, as we've talked about on the podcast. It started off with those 16 albums on the outer edge. We went down to those 8. We're down to the Final Four right now, and my 2 brackets have The Who and Who's Next going up against Pink Floyd's Animals. Steve's side has Led Zeppelin 4 going up against Pink Floyd's Wish You Were Here. So right now, and until tomorrow morning, Sunday morning, you get a chance to vote on each of these 2 remaining brackets to see which of these 4 albums advances into the finals to become the most essential album for anyone's collection. A lot of folks are having fun with this. We're having fun with this. So I want to get you guys involved in that as well. If you want to head over, the link to vote is on the description in the YouTube channel and on the Spotify episode. I'll put the link up on our Facebook page as well a little bit later today, so you can click over and vote on those. And then next week we'll have a chance. Could it be Floyd against Floyd? Or would it be Zeppelin against one of the Floyds or the other Floyd? I don't know. You see how it works. I'm not a basketball fan very much, so I don't know who scores the most touchdowns in any given hockey match between the 2. So we'll go from there. But this is your chance to kind of get in there and vote and see where we're going to go with the most essential album. You'll notice that there's no Dark Side of the Moon in this bracket anywhere. And we explain that as to why on the podcast. So if you're curious, check that out when you get a chance. But we'll head over, finish that up next week with the final 2 albums if you want to go. Let's see. Ryan's saying Zepp for the win. We'll have to see, right? I looked at the voting the other day, and it looked like one of those 2 brackets is very close, the other not so much. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. All the more reason for you to tune in to the podcast, 2 Guys Talking About Records, every Sunday evening about 7 o'clock. So, all right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for the day here and enjoy the spring weather. We'll get the lava lamps percolating, the turntable spinning, the dollar bin boxes will be full up there for your digging pleasures. You can come on by and root around in there for all of your heart's content. All right, more updates as we do get to them. Don't forget the new release show coming up a little later on today, and the podcast coming up tomorrow evening. Just about everywhere you want my mug in your face. I don't know why, but thank you for doing that. Thank you for watching. All right, you folks have a great weekend and a great week next. And don't forget, come see us at the store, 716 George Street, just north of downtown Midland, here till 6 o'clock today, noon to 4 tomorrow, Sunday, and then closed on Monday and Tuesday. So, all right, you folks have a great one. We'll talk to you next week from the Wasteland. Thanks again.